We've seen a really close set and then an absolute slaughter here on the Quake Pro League Stage 2. Week 7, I am 40 Lions joined by ZSX. And I don't know what we're going to be in store for next. We got Nosfa versus psygib. Which way do you think this one's going to go?
I actually don't know. I'm feeling psygib. I think he's just a bit more stable than Nosfa. But, you know, Nosfa can bring out the fireworks when he wants to. And maybe today is the day. Two guys with a lot of style points to their name in the game and out. Do love watching both these players play and actually play relatively similar styles. So it could be closer than maybe some people think.
I'm just looking forward to the webcams. I mean, you want to see Saigon pop off with those aviators. You want to see Nosfa with the fist pumps. That's what I want to see. But Nosfa coming off the victory over Maxter, psygib not so lucky last week, Zanaku. So a little bit different momentum for both of these players, but I think you're absolutely right. Both have the ability to pop off. They have that swagger both in and out of game. It's going to be, I think, a bit of a fist fight, and that's kind of what I love to see. I don't know about chat, but definitely looking forward to that. Statistically, in terms of the leaderboards, they're sitting at, I believe, 5th and 6th, respectively. I think the problem is, though, Nosfa has 3-1 series as opposed to psygib, who's 1-3, so a little bit rough. Nosfa definitely has more to lose here, as again, every week that goes by getting closer and closer to the Stage 2 finals.
Yeah, 100%. And these two are fairly closely matched, and it's going to come down to obviously a large part of the picks and bans and circumstance as well. Play a point, and that obviously Nosfa playing on a slightly high ping, not ideal for the man, but you never know. He's used to it. He can, as we say, he just pop off, and when we get back to land, that's where we're going to see true color shine. But for now, deal with what we can.
We get what we get, and we can't get upset as we're going to get into the pick bans. I'm hoping to see Scale Bearer, maybe?
Yes, we definitely got to see a scale.
Right off the bat, they ruin our dreams and hopes as the ban comes out.
The respect ban from Nosfa.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Ruins of Sarnath, Awoken, and Exile for the first time today. We got Strog and Peeker versus Anarchy. We got a little bit of Athena versus Ranger, and then rounding it out with Visor versus Blaskovitz on Exile. Anything interesting that you see here, Dan?
Yeah, I think map 1 is very interesting. The Strog versus the Anarchy. This is actually a good pick of an Anarchy here on the Ruins. Plays very well on it. You're not going up against a heavy as a medium, so you have a much better fighting chance as well. Nosfa does play. Scigib does play a good Anarchy, so that's pretty interesting. Athena is a good pick on Awoken. We haven't seen it an awful lot recently. It kind of came into the meta for a while and then slipped out of contention. But Doom was banned, and it's, again, a nice comfort pick for him. Galena could have been an equally good pick, but it will give him a lot more versatility than the Galena offers as well. Just has to play a bit more careful around that stack and make sure he's in a strong position. But Nosfa, I'm sure, has that to his name. And in XL, I don't think anyone really knows what the right meta is at this point in time on XL. Everyone's trying things. Some people pick light champions, some heavy, but we've got some good, stable, medium champions here. Visor obviously offering a lot of vision, which is very powerful in XL, the multi-level game, lots of corners and angles. BJ, I haven't seen an awful lot of anybody else on XL, so let's see what game plan psygib has there, but obviously the dual wield is always massively beneficial.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got some traps in mind to kind of pin Nosfa down, be a dual LG, maybe raining down dual rockets at the heavy, something of that sort from psygib, but nevertheless should be a good set here. Predictions are starting to roll in the chat. I hear the sound popping off. We're going to get into it shortly, but Dan, as always, predictions, what do you think?
I think just on the picks, I think it's really even. I'm going to stick with my gut and say psygib's going to edge it 2-1.
Psygib 2-1. I feel like I might have to side with you on this one, but I don't know. My heart says Nosfa kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Especially since psygib isn't really performing as well as we're used to him seeing. He's kind of maybe hitting a plateau or maybe just getting unlucky. I'm not really certain. But I think last minute I might swap back to Nosfa and just see what happens here. As lightning in a bottle may strike again here from the Brazilian. But there's only one way to find out, Dan, and we have to get into the game. So slowly but surely lock in those predictions. I think they're going to close pretty soon. But it all comes down to this. Map number 1 between Nosfa and psygib, battling it out for position on the America's leaderboards. We're going to start off on Nosfa. He's going to start off on the rockets and drops down. Actually leaves the Mega up right off the bat just to try and get a little bit of damage. Maybe catch psygib off guard.
Oh no. Caught tampering with the evidence as Nosfa there trying to delay the Mega, caught in the act, and this time psygib knows what's up. big split on the items, so Nosfera feeling very confident he's able to press the advantage here, but he's actually caught once again. Big shotgun coming out, and he's bounced up the jump pad into a second. You thought Scigib had that one, but the answer was no, shut down. He's going to meet right down here on the heavy. This time, perfect spawn, and we're back to being a tied game.
Brutal. So much machine gun damage here. Scigib actually misses his jump, and the peeker comes out way early here. Scigib dealt with it nicely, trying to thread the needle on that rail from down below, but for now it's going to be tied 1-1. Does concede on that item. 8 seconds till the heavy. Doesn't really have items to try and fight for this. Maybe chip with rail from far away, but he's going to opt to just grab the 50 shard out in the courtyard and make his way back to the rockets, which is going to be huge for the next fight.
Yep, Scigib favoring, taking an early position up here, trying to defend the Mega. Has good angle, but not hitting his shots so far. Going to try and close the gap on the choke point, but double back from Nosfera, coming in aggressively. Great use of the speed. Bounced off the Mega as well. Perfect timing and perfect play from the Brazilian.
Ooh, big rail from Scigib there. Misses with the follow-up, and that rail is going to let him proceed as he wants. Nosfa pushing in, asserting dominance, but just barely before the heavy. So I guess the victory there is the steal from Scigib, but 3-1. Not looking so hot right off the bat. Needs to try and avoid these early rails, otherwise that's going to put him down in a hole. And just like this, around the corner, up close and personal, Nosfa dancing around Scigib, landing everything 4-1.
And that's twice in a row that's happened to Scigib. He now needs to rethink his strategies for defending that Mega, because what he's currently doing and just standing on it is not working. He needs to commit to one of the choke points and back off if Nosfa takes the other route, because at this point in time he's just getting bullied.
2 minutes in, getting bullied, the name of the game right now, as Nosfa will miss that rail. Tries to get a little bit of damage here on the way out. LG, Scigib fighting from below, making it count. Free Mega, essentially, for Nosfa, as Scigib goes through the telly. Again, claiming this outside armor. That's got Scigib's name on it all game here. Big rocket from up above, catching Nosfa, but Nosfa's okay with that as he gets essentially a free heavy, so the items running in favor of the Brazilian right now. Peeker comes out, again dealt with nicely by Scigib, trying to do some damage though, can't really land the shots. A little bit of rocket splash through, he's gonna try and inject and make this happen, eats a rocket though. Does have the Mega to save him, he could push this and try and get this frag on the board. Nosfa trying to survive, but he hangs out a little too long, and instead hangs out to dry 4-2. Scigib putting another one on the board.
Yeah, that was much better play from Scigib, delaying Nosfa's entry to that room, by which point Nosfa couldn't rush, had to commit to a fight, and it didn't work out. So nice play by Scigib, he just needs more of that. Not hitting the rail off the spawn is pretty painful, as it's given Nosfa this latitude to go super aggressive up on the Mega. Didn't knock him off though, so Scigib has to be careful, needs to be patient. He also probably can't commit for this heavy, definitely can't commit now, and he sticks around again a second too long, and Nosfa's on fire.
5-2, no signs of stopping here. Scigib trying to set a trap here. A little bit of nail gun, nothing landing. Nosfa looks comfortable. I mean, he takes these fights. Ooh, he's going to push in after the Mega pickup, and somehow Nosfa, just so much damage. LG to rail makes it happen, and that's kind of what we've grown accustomed to from Nosfa. The in-your-face style of play, popping off again with the rockets as Scigib gets caught out.
I mean, as much as we have to credit Nosfa for the execution, you have to again question Scigib. It's 3 times now the same frag has happened time and time again. Too early for the Mega, trying to stand strong on the item, which gives Nosfa an entry point to the room. You can't let him get in when he's got a much bigger stack than you, because even if you get it, he's still going to take the fight.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the problem with Nosfa is, in general, when you give your opponent this kind of advantage and this kind of momentum, it's curtains. But especially for Nosfa, when he seems to play with this swagger more and more as the momentum swings in his way, like 8-2, halfway through, this is rough time for Scigib right now. And it's kind of the gamble, right? Where you want to push, you want to bet it all, and then you miss out. Oh no! Oh no, not again! It happened again!
It's exactly the same, and yeah, at this point, you just need to switch up the strategy. It's not working. He's playing almost too basic. He just wants to take the item and fight. He needs to play smarter. He needs to try and catch Nosfa before the entry point, defend the choke point. And, I mean, 7 frags. It doesn't... I mean, it looks like the game's over.
Yeah, the definition of insanity is, you know, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, be it play style, be it comments in the chat. It doesn't really matter. It's just pure insanity here. As the rail from Scigib prevails for now, 9-3. He needs to try and snowball off this momentum. LG on LG. Nosfa catches him out a little bit, but good play from Scigib, just tanking that damage to the face and taking the fight to Nosfa as he didn't get around the corner to safety after that peeker pop. So now it's kind of interesting. 9-4. Scigib could find some momentum. He does have the inject available. Doesn't have a lot of LG to work with, so he needs to be careful not to get caught out in an LG fight.
Absolutely, and for the first time in this game, he'll probably get some free items to his name, as Nosfa's not going to be committing, not even going to show face. Just wants to double back, use audio cues to get away from his opponent, but he hasn't got away as Scigib's in his face this time. Falling onto an LG, that's not the play, Scigib, and he's taken so much damage.
Nosfa finally landing the killing blow there. But yeah, I mean, Scigib saw an opportunity, just had the wrong weapon out. It took him so long to get something out that Nosfa just put out so much damage.
It was greedy. He caught his opponent well at the jump pad, but then he didn't execute and Nosfa got away, but he decided to chase, and it's completely the wrong choice, unfortunately.
He's trying to post up. Good rail. Needs to hit the follow-up. Nosfa. Good reply here. Ooh. Tries to go with that pre-aim shot. Gonna miss. Psygib injects. Doesn't have enough stack to try and fight for that heavy. 12-4. Nosfa just piling it on now. 3 minutes left. It's gonna take a miracle. Psygib trying to make that miracle happen with the tri-bolt. He's gonna drop down right in his face. Can he do it again? And Nosfa Sambas his way towards a shotgun frag, but that was actually a lot closer than I thought. The up-close and personal tri-bolt almost got it done, and when that failed, the nail did the job. Might get it again, too. Nosfa off the bat, the machine gun too strong, but now it's just a bloodbath. Now it's just brute forcing on both sides. Let's make it happen. The peeker lying in wait. Oh, my God.
We have seen some hyper-aggressive series today.
Something's in the water. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no fear from these players here. Scigib will miss barely. Both players missing out in the courtyard as the battle rages on. The tail of rail here as Nosfa wants to close in with that LG, forcing Scigib to make sure that he hits all his shots, and unfortunately does not. 17-5.
Need a spectacular performance from Nosfa, and fortunately for Scigib, he just again has relented with the pressure, some unnecessary decisions, and even trading there.
Even after all that work, still Nosfa finds a way to trade it, and he doesn't even really need trades at this point. 18-6, he can give up a couple if he wants. Minute 30 left.
Take his hands off the keyboard at this point, you know. Minute 30, I don't think you can respawn fast enough in 12 frags.
Yep. Everything is against Scigib as this first map goes to the Brazilian. Nosfa making it look easy here. As again, questionable decisions, maybe a little bit overly aggressive as that rocket finds its mark. And again, a couple of these fights go Scigib's way with the aggression. It's a different story, but you're essentially gambling the map based on my pushes are going to work and I'm going to hit everything, and somehow my opponent's going to miss the crucial shots, and that's just not going to happen at this level.
I mean, Scigib versus Dewey would have been a fun game to watch.
Oh, a little bit of pizza cutter action there. Scigib wants a piece, and Nosfa says, anything you can do, I can do better, and he just drops him with that gauntlet. 21-6, and now Nosfa kind of playing for maybe most frags in a set. As I think today might be just a record-breaking day for some of these players. They're looking for putting up 100. Has anyone put 100 in a set across 3? I don't know.
No way. That's 35 frags a game, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. As the peeker again dealt with nicely. The Rockets, will they plant Nosfa? How is he still alive? No idea. The rail's not landing. Both players dancing, and Nosfa comes out on top. The Samba too strong for Scigib here on map number 1. Ruins of Sarnath will go firmly in Nosfa's way. Yeah, is there a story there, Dan? Can you paint me a picture?
It was a game that spiraled out of control very quickly. I mean, it was a different story to we saw the previous sets in Dewey. Psygib wasn't throwing his body at the wall to start with. It was just Nosfera playing clean and Psygib maybe taking a bit of overconfidence or just the wrong decisions. Like the plays where he was just standing on Mega time and time again, he gave out 3 or 4 frags consecutively doing the same mistake. He didn't play around his champion's weaknesses, which is just a lack of stack essentially. Nosfera just played exceptional, hit the right shots, timed perfectly, kept a good split on the items, and then as the score line began to spiral, you could see the desperation come out from Scigib, which reflected in some really poorly calculated pushes. So you just got to credit Nosfera and say Scigib needs to clean it up, basically.
Clean it up indeed. He's going into the second map. It's a tall order if he keeps playing like this. And again, it's one player seems to try and over-aggress, and the other player just has all the answers. At this level,
exactly,
you have to imagine that players are going to hit their shots. Nothing comes easy. They're not going to miss these softballs that they're given. So that strategy has to be kind of reworked, so to speak.
If you look at the vast majority of the frags we saw in that highlight reel, it was Nosfera playing around the item and Scigib running in. Slightly late, out of stack, out of position. Again, it's just not clean enough for this level. Nosfera capitalized upon that very, very easily, and it made him look exceptionally strong. So, step back from Scigib, deep breath, recalculate, go again.
Absolutely agree. And big shouts. I see Kilson in the chat. Big shouts to you, Kilson. Hope you're feeling better. Recover quickly, as he's waiting for the Railson to get back, as we all are. But map number 2 between these two, Dan, do you think it's going to be more of the same? Do you see Scigib switching it up at all? Or are these players from the Americas just too stubborn in their ways? Tell my boys a thing or two. Teach them something. Talk to them.
I don't know what's going on with NA Quake recently, man. The last set I casted of Scigib versus, I think it was Effortless, was pretty unusual, if I'm just going to be polite. It was, again, very, very...
It's a lot of craziness happening here.
I think it was Scigib Dewey, actually, to remember correctly. So again, it was a very unusual set. Not entirely sure what's going on over there. Stubbornness, maybe. Stupidity, maybe. NA, I don't know what's going on. We'll have to see.
Offended. But on this map, I think probably we could both say that Nosfa might be able to take this one if we see at the start within the first 2 minutes. I don't know. Maybe too early to call. The predictions rolling in. It seems a little lopsided yet again on Awoken here. Nosfa versus Scigib live, map number 2 for the series. Can Nosfa take it in 2?
I mean, one would think so, but let's see. He's on the Athena now, so he has his work cut out for him for sure. Stack advantage in Scigib's favor. Has the utility of a ranger to fall back on as well. So let's see what Scigib can do. Would love to see him not play as aggro.
I think the key is for Nosfa trying to get that Dire Orb baited out as quick as he can, so then he can be more comfortable taking up close and personal fights. Oh, that denial rocket! How dare you? And there's the jump, and wow!
Come on, man.
That's
was
just
really
beautiful.
Nice.
That's just beautiful.
You can see the trap and thought from Scigib, but he was just shut down. Great rockets from Nosfera. What can you do?
Oh! Oh my goodness. And this man is making it look easy. It's beautiful. It's like I've said before, it's just a beautiful samba from the Brazilian. He's just, everything is perfect. The play is solid and it's stylish too. 2 up early on. And just everywhere Scigib looks, it's just damage. Nosfa finally missing out on a rail. Good damage returned from Scigib with the machine gun. He's got all 3 hooks though, as he uses 1 to get out and gain some speed. He's going to re-up on the rockets, turns his back, but then flicks back with a 100 damage rocket into the face of Scigib. Great rail as Scigib trying to press on and trying to close in on this frag, but the defensive damage is just too damn high, Dan.
Yeah, slightly aggressive from Scigib there to carry on, aim for the second rail. Maybe he should have got out of there, but that's a good retaliation from getting the rail up the jump pad. And Nosfera is relatively weak. He's not railable now, but he's going to go for the aggression here, and he does make the right choice. Once again, perfect timing is what wins him the day there.
Very patient play there, and somehow gets out alive. He was down to 1 HP. Nosfa survives as Scigib took out Scigib. Doesn't matter to Nosfa as he's up 3. Rockets raining through the banana choke point there. Neither player really landing damage 2 minutes in, but Nosfa's looking really strong, looking comfortable on Athena. And it's a little bit surprising, just simply given the matchup. I feel like Scigib with the Dire Orb would have had a lot better of a shot. Tried to close in on the last heavy. Got him down to 9 HP with the Dire Orb play, but off the back of that, Nosfa looks very strong. Almost connects with that rail. That would have been big. Now just trying to burn time until this next Mega.
Yeah, Psygib needs to make a play onto this next heavy as well. Should get this Mega cleanly. Psygib might stick around for a little bit of damage. Sorry, Nosfa, but this is an opportunity now for Psygib to go aggressive. He needs to push this heavy. Can't let it go unchallenged. That's why he's there. Got timing now as well, which is crucial. It's going to go in. He does steal it though, as Nosfa just waited for that push. He's finding that balance of doing damage and going super aggressive. And unfortunately, Psygib is falling on the wrong side of that scale so far.
He's going to push his luck, and he is, and he's going to get floated for his trouble, and the dodging so strong from Nosfa.
You got to ask yourself why. Why am I making this play? What am I going to achieve? And you could see Nosfa, again, just setting up for that exact play, hoping he did it. And as soon as he did it, as you said, excellent dodging to get away and just easy frag.
You know, you hear the phrase "expect the unexpected," and Nosfa's doing exactly that. It's almost just way too telegraphed again, similar to how we kind of saw Dewey play, and Nosfa picks him out of the sky, hooks back up to the middle ground. It wants sound cues for everything, making sure you can cut off and do damage. And this is just a masterclass in Nosfa right now. Missing with that air rocket, but good damage on the second follow-up there. Almost a little bit of a tickle as well down below. But it seems casual for Nosfa. Just another day in the office, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it's some of the best play I've seen out of Nosfera, again, Psygib's not making it awfully difficult for him. He's running at him, he's not making smart plays, he's not setting up traps. Again, that was an okay move, given how much damage he did, but it's all slightly too basic. He's being a basic bitch so far for him.
That's one way to put it here, as he gets absolutely destroyed trying to drop down. And this is a story of Scigib being so weak, wanting to steal an item and not even putting that item in his pocket. So Nosfa just gets stronger and stronger, stacking the frags, stacking the items, and making Scigib live a nightmare right now. Good LG finally, but the Tri-Bolt is going to be right under his feet. And look at this, Nosfa taking his time, denying everything in the middle of the map, and then doubling back for the Mega, and that's just a testament to how comfortable he is right now.
You could see the double back there. He could have stuck around for the full lightning gun fight,
Scigib.
but he would have taken so much damage. That double back switch to the Tri-Bolt, great awareness, great combat, just general play. So smooth, and -2, man.
Well, we could have records. Maybe it wasn't going to be the 30 bomb that we thought, but we could have maybe a -5, Dan. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh. Oh, dude. Oh, dear.
Just vicious. Just vicious. Oh, if he would have hit that. If he would have hit that.
If he didn't have 130 ping, he would have hit that.
Oh. The flick
I played that one
point
on
from the boy. Oh!
No way! Oh no!
Nosfa, please. Please, Nosfa. It's just too pretty, Dan. It's just too damn pretty. And this is kind of the swagger that we've come to know and love from Nosfa. That's why it's always a treat to watch him play. And especially with a lead like this, he's going to be so comfortable that he's going to try things like this. But the fact that he converts on them is just insane.
Poor Psygib looks like a dog chasing his tail. He just can't catch him.
Well, if he keeps going like this, he might not have a tail to chase, as Nosfa looking to just gut him right now. 11 to -2. Hell of a scoreline. We've seen some brutal scorelines already today, but -2 is a little rough. Oh,
Dunk.
Oh, we're running out of towels to throw, Dan.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're watching, the difference between this and last set is that you could clearly see Dewey just went full aggro and kind of lost his head, whatever it is. Psygib is somewhat still putting up a good fight. It's just a little bit too obvious, and Nosfa's playing so damn good that he's making him look like a novice.
It just plays like that. converting off the damage, pushing properly, following up, finishing kills. It's all there for Nosfa right now. Again, putting on a show, and it's gorgeous to watch. Hitting rails like that, traversing the map just beautifully. It's just gorgeous. What else can you say? Oh no, and a failed rocket jump. That rocket damage is going to give Nosfa the information. He's trying to line up the rail shot. Scigib in a horrific way, and Nosfa just goes for the timing rail, no big deal. Scigib will live, but he's still -2. I don't know. Has anyone finished negative scoreline in QPL? Are we going to have a first?
Kilson did against Cypher, I think, on Deep Embrace.
Rude.
I think it was like 27 -1 or something.
Okay. Well, Deep Embrace is a beast of its own, but this is still getting up there. 13 to -2. One for the history books, chat. One for the history books. And people very quickly kind of thinking, why did I predict Scigib? Exactly. What was I thinking? As Nosfa just makes it look
Nosfa has
easy.
no chill.
No chill at all.
Wow. Sad we don't have the camera reactions now.
You gotta think that Scigib would just be sad. You might see a single tear from behind the aviators, and conversely,
Maybe that's
Nosfa.
why. Maybe it is not on camera. He's playing for the audience, and he doesn't feel that the love and affection and the hype as he normally would.
That's true. It's like wrestling. He gains energy from the crowd. What a rail. He's a bit of the ultimate warrior. But nothing doing right now. No power from the ropes, as he's been up against them the entire time. 1 minute left for this absolute shellacking, Dan. 14 -2. The question is, can Scigib dig himself out of a hole? And he does.
Oh, no!
Not completely, though. Still -1.
So
So warpy.
even moaning that his opponent got a frag. Oh no, that was Scigib saying that.
Yeah.
I thought it was Nosfa whining.
No, I think he's going to be all smiles, everything, all considered here. Scigib tries to push in, can't do it. 8 HP, can't take him out. And Nosfa doesn't even reply. He's going to stay silent and just let the game do the talking. 16 to -1.
I can guarantee that warp is not the deciding factor in this game. 100%.
For this scoreline, I agree. there's going to be some issues given the circumstance and the way of the world, but to say that warrants a 16 -1,
No, I mean, like, there was so many things wrong with this game for Psygib that warp is the least of his troubles.
Yeah, I mean, if you subscribe to that theory, then I got a bridge to sell you too, as that one's going to be in the books, done and dusted. 16 to -1, Nosfa coming out on top, making it look just too easy. And with Athena against a Ranger, a little bit surprising, but solid play from the Brazilian there.
Really solid play. You could see him again just playing smart, playing strategical, timing well, played around the heavy to start with really, really well, and just baited Scigib into these engagements. Just kind of caught him so many times around the map. I think Scigib was pretty unlucky to lose that first frag. Some great defensive rockets from Nosfa. But from there on out, you could just see that after the first couple of frags, it was just the Nosfa show. Kiting Scigib around the map, allowing him to charge in, and quite symptomatic with the previous game, really. Scigib fell into that rhythm of just running at his opponent.
Yeah, again, such a heavily based momentum player. The more you feed him, the stronger he gets, the more he has that swagger, the more risks he takes, and the more shots he hits. Like, just that combination is just wow. Just wow. Just super good stuff from Nosfa as we're going to head into the third map. And chat, just give your energy to Psygod. He needs it. He needs a little something. So I think the matchup was going to be Visor BJ, if I'm not mistaken, on Exile.
Yeah, Visor BJ Exile. BJ on Scigib's hands and Visor on Nosfa's hands.
So wow. A shutout for the ages here. As yeah. Scigib needs to dig deep. There's got to be a little something here. He could try and put at least the last map up, but that's going to be the series in Nosfa's firm, delicious, gorgeous hands here, as he's just made it look easy in the first two maps, and playing well, playing the way he wants, just ready for the onslaught of relentless aggression. And again, it appears has all the answers. As we take a look at those score lines, that's not something you see every week. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I don't know what's in the water in the Americas, but something's gone horribly wrong. Somebody pray for my boys.
Yes. Not really sure what to say. Nosfa's playing extremely well. And if he carries on like this, he's going to be putting up a great show coming into the finals. Scigib, again, another one of these players we're looking at and saying, not sure what's going wrong, my friend, but you need to change something. One of its strategy, it's just the wrong choices, consistently the wrong choices. Exile, new start, again, much more even playing field because we have two medium champions now, very different skill sets, but two medium champions on a map that is new to the pool. So one would think there's not as much experience to fall back on and should be a little bit more even. That should allow Scigib's chaos to be more beneficial.
Yep. And we'll see if he could turn it all around and paint a different picture on map number 3. It's going to be Exile. Personal favorite of mine along Deep Embrace. Gotta love the new maps coming into the Pro League. We'll see which player loves it more, as this is going to be the third and final for this set. Nosfa looking for the clean sweep. And Scigib, does he have some energy left to become Psygod at least one more time here? So we're live on map number 3. We're going to start off on Nosfa. Starting off again on that visor, has all the vision, and now he has a rail as well as a mega.
Scigib starting on the high ground, or popping Jewel very early, and that's going to be a feature of this game, obviously, both with very powerful abilities. So it's going to be a contest for the time bars as much as the items. Both of them want to keep a high uptime on their abilities, and we see the Piercing Sight and the Jewel coming out right at the start of this encounter.
There's the vision popped. Really good timing on it too, as the push may have come out from Scigib now. I think he heard the pickup, so he should have timing on the mega. A little bit of tri-bolt and rockets being fired respectively from each player. No real damage, no real altercation yet. Nosfa might get caught out with that tri-bolt. That was dangerous here. Scigib smells him as both players extremely close to one another. And it's just a matter of time before we see that first fight. A little bit of tri-bolt damage as the heavy goes towards Scigib. There it is through the telly. Dual wield comes out, and Nosfa wisely decides to duck behind the wall. Does not want to take that fight. Scigib has the stack advantage here, but Nosfa has the vision and could even it up. That rail just clipping the wall, so unfortunate. Sometimes when you have full vision, it almost makes you overzealous with your shot. Yep. And it's just unfortunate, so missed opportunity there from Nosfa to try and chip away. He's going to grab the 50 shard and make his way back towards the heavy. Is he going to be able to get some damage on it? Scigib with great dodging there. That rail flub from Nosfa. No rockets, no rail, nothing.
And I'm really loving the tempo of this game so far. Both checking the advantage. Great push, catching Nosfa seriously off guard with that weapon choice. And Scigib takes the lead in this game.
And even with the 100 damage dunk, no dice for Nosfa. He's going to get railed out here, and good weapon switch there. Doesn't go for anything fancy. Doesn't go for the 3-for-3. Gets the frag early to save stack those rockets somehow. Nosfa dodging and dishing out some damage. Needs to be careful around the corner. The dual wielded Nosfa actually comes out on top with the LG.
How, man? That was insane. He plus forwarded into a double rocket. Absolute baller Brazilian, yeah.
No fear from Brazilian. Like we said, the swagger is there. The fear is nowhere to be found, as Nosfa only down by 1, looking to extend to a tie game here, but somehow gets bamboozled, and Scigib with the shotgun takes him out, takes the heavy, and that was just daylight thievery. Good rail from Nosfa, traps Scigib. Rail, and wow, I thought that was going to be a telefrag. Instead, the shotgun will do it, but Scigib extending the lead by 3. Nosfa getting a little antsy now. He needs to be careful not to let the spiral too out of control. He's seen how that works, given the first 2 maps. More so the second here is a little bit of self-damage from that rocket splash, but Scigib looking comfortable, and that's important. He needs this one. Great rail as he drops down.
And this is where Scigib gets really scary. When he gets into his rhythm, he gets his confidence up, he gets a rotation of items, he becomes such a hard force to shift. It's nice, stable aim, often hits his shots. Obviously, we've seen him struggle on the defense, but he's now found himself in a good position with the lead and the items to work with.
Dual wield preemptive just in case, never hurts, misses with the rail. And And even though he's not getting a lot of mileage out of it, he's doing enough to force Nosfa to think twice before he pushes in, and that's just a victory in and of itself. So 4 minutes in, 3 frag lead. Psygib finally looking comfortable, looking in control, and as I say that, the rail to knock him down needs to be careful. Nosfa following up with another rail, and the rocket will find its mark. So Caster's Curse, my bad, 2-4, but Psygib will get the spawn for rockets and heavy.
Yeah, not the end of the world for Scigib, and you can see him playing very slow, wary of the piercing side as well, which he should be.
Ooh, that rocket serving up a hundo there, taking too much damage. Dual wield as Nosfa tries to get up close and personal, and he makes it rain again. The dual wield not saving Scigib, and that's just going to give Nosfa even more confidence, saying, you know, the dual wield doesn't do anything for you. As Scigib showing that he does better with one rocket launcher, apparently. He can't multitask. He can't handle the two, Dan.
No, but that frag beforehand is nice double follow up the rail, but that frag is, again, very reflective how it was on map 1. Scigib not managing the item entryways well enough, allowing allowing Nosfa to get through those choke points too easily by standing just in the wrong position, basically. So it's, again, something he definitely needs to work on, because at this point in time, that's a big in for Nosfa.
Great rail there. Scigib just flirting with the idea of jumping down and trying to melt his opponent. Nosfa goes through the telly. There's the dual LGs waiting, but Nosfa again prevails, and I swear to you, Dan, it almost seems like a detriment when he pops dual wield.
Yeah, that was really strange how Nosfa came away. They had the wrong weapon out to start with. Dual lightning gun going up against you. Oh, maybe it's Scigib getting nervous now. This map gets closer and closer with 5.5 minutes gone. Much more even than we've seen it in the previous 2 games.
Oh, through the telly, there's a big surprise there as Nosfa lands the shots he needs to tie it at 6, and oh no, Dan. Not like this. As there's the drop down, rocket will land just a little bit of damage, but Nosfa will get position on the Mega, and that's going to be the key here. Hits a rail after the fact, and Scigib's extremely weak. There goes the 50 shard. He's going to re-up on the rail as well.
A little bit greedy from Scigib there to work his way out of position on the Mega, but he does get away with the heavy, as you say. Now needs to control this high ground. But Nosfa just busts through the telly, no fear whatsoever, and again catching Scigib off guard. It's not looking promising.
Great rail. As Scigib's just way too early on the Mega. Does get the pickup. Nosfa forced back now as the machine gun says coming out, absolutely destroying Nosfa's stack. But he did get the 1 frag lead after all of that. Scigib looking so strong in the first few minutes, and Nosfa clawing his way back. You can't help but think a couple of the flubs, the mispositioning, and the dual wield. The curse of the dual wield game.
It really has seemed like a curse. Just some of these fights, you have to question how he lost them. It looks so favorable, but Nosfa hitting like a truck. Dual comes out again, but
just stop using it. I think just stop using it at this point. You don't need it. Scigib getting caught out trying to gauntlet, but Nosfa, he's mano a mano. He's like, I can do that too. I'll give you a fair fight and I'll still come out on top. He did have the stack advantage for that, but Nosfa, this is where he's starting to gain momentum. He's going to start popping off. Scigib's just running into him now, trying to make something happen. LG on LG isn't going to be enough. It might be, but no, the nail prevails at the very end.
Yeah, and full frag buffer now with only 2 minutes to go is pretty commanding from Scigib. We've seen him really pick up his momentum here. Caught over by the jump pad, but the rocket is good in the entryways. Scigib has to push, though. He knows this is one of his big opportunities to get a frag, but the defensive rockets are good from Nosfa, and he can just bide his time here. Doesn't need to force anything. And that rail will shut Scigib down. Still going to push him with the dual wheel. This is kind of last shot saloon. Ooh. Gets a frag, but again, at what cost? Scigib will just pick up the weapons, get the heavy, and is set for another push.
Vision popped, just to ensure the aggression is at bay for the time being. 1:30 left. All pressure on Scigib for 3 frags at least to send us into sudden death. Barring a potential ring out, which would be fantastic. Caster's Curse, we'll see. Rail missing from Nosfa, and he's not even going to double peek. Usually we see him try and go for a little bit more, but at this point he wants to just run out the clock, take the knee, and take the victory, 3-0.
Big item here for Scigib to contest. He has to make a play, but he plays it a little bit too safe, and Nosfa gets into a good defensive position. Rockets are huge. The lightning gun in swap is perfect, and that will seal the deal.
Great rail there from Nosfa. Goes up for a little bit more, and Psygib finally coming out on top of the dual wield. I believe that was the second time in this match that that's actually played into his favor. So down 3, time is ticking, 40 seconds. It's going to take a miracle here. Nosfa actually giving him some opportunities there as he overstayed his welcome just a little bit, but doing good machine gun damage. He's going to get back in on the heavy. He's going to have the perfect stack to try and withstand the onslaught for the last 30 seconds of this series.
Yeah, he's not even going to show face. He's just going to dodge around the pillars, dodge around the telly, catch his opponent straight through if he wants to come through, and not Psygib can't even risk it. And piercing sights there as well. Good games, really well played by Nosfa. Some of the best form I've seen from him for a long, long time, and mislands. Yeah, you have to question. Obviously, Psygib wasn't on his game mechanically, definitely hitting or missing a lot of shots that we might expect him to hit, but serious questions over strategy and timing on maps 1 and 2. I thought map 3 was a lot better, but as soon as Nosfa got control, he just looked more clinical. He had better positioning, better awareness, he was catching Psygib off guard, and his engagements were better. Really well-rounded display.
Just really, really fantastic performance from Nosfa there, popping off, showing us that, you know, as we get closer to the Stage 2 finals, he's ramping up at the right time. So trying to hit that stride, trying to go into the stage finals, you know, peak performance, and now is the time to do it, especially for some of the players that are lower in the leaderboards and on the relegation chopping block. Now is the time. As a bit of a highlight reel here, Scigib had the chance. You can't help but think, like you mentioned, the positioning, just letting Nosfa in. Once you let him in through the choke point, it's game over. But also just the first 7 minutes, it felt like dual wield was just a detriment. It's almost as though he thought if he pops it, it's just a free frag, but he kind of stopped aiming, or he just couldn't land the connection for the damage, and Nosfa just came out on top time and time again, and that's brutal. Like, that's so disheartening when you have dual wield and you still can't take down your opponent.
Yeah, 100%. And for whatever reason that is, it is what it is, and you need to adjust. And obviously, lag, warp, whatever was issues he was having could have played a role, but when you look at the context of the game, there were so many wrong decisions and outplays from wrong decisions on Scigib plots and outplay from Nosfa. He just put in a better performance at the end of the day, and Scigib has to look at that and see what he did wrong, because it was just basic errors that he can't be making, and you can't just rely on mechanical skill to get you out of those situations sometimes.
Yeah, and we did see that quite a bit. Here's 11-8, the final scoreline for Exile. Big shouts to Nosfa taking that 3-0 this week, trying to ascend at the leaderboards on the Americas side. But yeah, we've had a couple wacky sets, a little bit of a raw aggression coming out, at least from the Americas side. And after that first set that was just a nail-biter between CNZ and Sparty, I think we have 2 more on the way, Dan. So don't go anywhere. Go ahead and indulge in whatever vice you like. We'll be here in about 5 minutes. See you back here. Don't go anywhere.